We've got a wonderful day ahead of us, and we're going to start it off by singing together. This is a great song by the Bellamy Brothers. Let Your Love Flow. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
There's a reason for the sunshine sky, and there's a reason why I'm feeling so high. Must be the season when that love light shines all around us. So let that feeling grab you deep inside and send you reeling where your love can't hide, and then go stealing on the moonlit nights with your lover. Let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show. And you know what I mean, it's a season. Let your love fly like a bird on the wing, and let your love find you through all living things, and let your love shine. And you know what I mean, it's a reason. There's a reason for the warm, sweet nights, and there's a reason for the candle lights. It's been a season when no love light shining all around us. So let that wonder take you into space, and there you wonder, loving embrace, and feel the thunder. As you want your face, you can't hold back. Let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show. And you know what I mean, it's the season. Let your love fly like a bird on the wing, and let your love find you through all living things, and let your love shine. And you know what I mean, it's the reason. Let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love go with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show. And you know what I mean, that's the reason. Let your love fly like a bird on the wing, and let your love find you through all living things, and let your love shine. And you know what I mean, it's the reason.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this blessed time together, whether you're right here in this sacred room with us or live streaming with us from home. I'm so happy to be here with you this morning. Our practitioner doing our prayer and reading this morning is Selena Baugh, and our practitioner holding high watch in the back of the room looks like Teresa Martin. So throughout this service, Teresa's going to be back there just in prayer, knowing that the best and highest is unfolding as we share this sacred time together. Our center is a spiritual community that teaches a philosophy for daily living based on spiritual principles and practices that are universal among religions. We honor every pathway by which people seek to know and connect with the divine. And we work on our individual consciousness so that we can help make the world a better place. So as we say our vision statement together, I invite all of you to reflect on what these words mean for you personally. We are a thriving community where individually and together we embody and express our spiritual magnificence for the highest good of all you spiritually magnificent folks out there. So we are continuing the year's theme of living everyday wonder, and our focus this month of our wonder is on emotions. And I hear we focused on a lot of fun last week. So we're going to switch gears a little bit because we're very blessed to have our dear friend Lanna Cairns with us, and her topic is looking anger in the eye. And I'm really grateful to Home Office for including this emotion, since I'm probably the only one here who ever experiences being angry, right? So next week, we're excited to have back our dear Shemaine Charette. And today, right after our service, we want you to grab something. If you're a member, sign in, and we're going to have our annual meeting right back here in this room. I hope you'll all stick around for it. Everyone is welcome to be here as we hear from our leadership about what's happened over the past year, what our plans are for the future, as we express our appreciation to the many who serve this center. And members will vote for a change to our bylaws and our new board secretary, as we gratefully and sadly allow our dear Carol Harris, who has served us for so long and so well, to step down from that position. We promise that I know. Trust me, no one is sadder than I am about that. But I'm not angry, Carol. We will get you out of here in plenty of time to go to lunch with your friends or to get on with whatever it is you've got planned for this gorgeous Sunday day. So please stick around. I want to remind all of you that learning more about us or contacting us for prayer or just about anything else, you can do that on our website. It's just a click away at www.sayitwithme.spirituallyfree.org. And so now that you've heard maybe a little bit about us, if anyone's here visiting for the first time and you have the courage to let us know that, will you raise your hand so that we can welcome you? Anybody? Nobody. All right, you guys, that means you're not doing your job. Get out there and bring some new folks to us. Anyway, I'm affirming for everyone here that you are going to experience a blessing this morning, and I know that's true because we've got great music and a great speaker. And as I do, I remind you that our center was founded on and it is grounded in prayer. Our professional prayer practitioners are trained in the art and science of affirmative prayer, and they are here to support you in prayer with whatever's going on in your life. So you can contact us on the website, you can put a request in the prayer box, or any of the practitioners who are wearing their purple stole, you could grab them after the annual meeting if you want to have a quick prayer. So right now I invite you to settle into that sacred place within, allow Selena's reading and the sacred music to take you and connect you with the spirit that lives within you, and then Selena will lead us in prayer.
Good morning. Our reading this morning is adapted from 7,000 Ways to Listen by Mark Nepo. There are two irrevocable truths. The first truth can be offered as the truth of things as they are, and the second as the experience of being human. These have become my teachers, trying to accept the nature of what is and trying not to deny its impact. Like many of us, I have known centeredness as a calm experience of difficult feelings as forms of agitation. Like many of us, I swing between these poles, needing to calm down when stirred up, wondering how long the calm will last before I'm stirred up again. Like many of us, I have come to associate the lack of agitation, lack of pain, fear, confusion, or anger with peace, and the presence of such agitation as being pulled into the tangle of the world. I'm learning, though, that the absence of agitation alone is not necessarily peace, and that the presence of such difficult feelings does not mean we are necessarily off-center. Rather, the task of being fully alive challenges us to stay in the center while feeling the full range of life on earth. This is quite a task, which I'm not sure how to do. Nonetheless, listening way inside to these two teachers, the truth of things as they are, and the experience of being human, I find myself there. This all descended on me recently when I found myself drawn again into relationship with a person who didn't mean what they said. And for all my practice at not having expectations, just letting go, at surrender and acceptance, the disappointment ripped me. Yet, after flipping back and forth, I've been jarred into feeling both centered and hurt at once, accepting that the situation won't change, and at the same time, not shutting down what the disappointment feels like. I'm not trying to run from the agitation in the name of peace, but trying to relax my being until I'm spacious enough to be a container for both the peace and the agitation.
The heart of the world beats in me now. The light of the world shines through me. The song of the world sings through me now. I am the heart of the world. I am the heart of the world. The heart of the world beats in me now. The light of the world shines through me. The song of the world sings through me now. I am the heart of the world. I am the heart of the
Opening my heart and my mind to the power of that presence that moves in and through all of life, expressing this day and always to be and always will be as divine right action, perfect love, absolute intelligence, strength, and power, compassion, and always wholeness. For this is the truth of my being, it is the truth of yours, for we are part and parcel of that one. And we have the wherewithal to access all of that intelligence, all of that love, all of that strength and power, compassion. It is our nature. It is within every cell of our being. If we are aware and open our minds and hearts to that impressive spirit. So I invite you to join with me and opening my heart and mind, watching as those emotions arise. Is that anger from a place of hurt or unhealed that has once again been disrupted? Or is it a call to action? Is that fear something to pay attention to? Or is it something that we were conditioned to feel in certain situations or with certain types of people? Our emotions are not to be held on to. They move. They're informers. And I recognize this day. And as we move forward into our week, with grace and love, I'm grateful for this time together this morning, for the beautiful music and the message to follow, for the companionship with each and every person here, the connectedness. So I just released this word. It's spoken, therefore it's done. As together we say, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Selena. That was beautiful. So I'm not really a fan that much of managing my emotions. I like to feel free, but certainly some emotions are much more constructive when they're managed. And we use our words, among other things, to express how we're feeling, and how wonderful it is that we have language and this power of our voice to express ourselves. That's what this song speaks to. Let's sing together a wonderful song by my wife, Shemaine Charette. It's called Words Are a Gift. 2, 3, 4.
My life is built on the words I speak. I create, I renew, I reveal. Whatever I tend to feel and think, I speak a pathway to real. Words are a gift I handle with care, allowing the content of my heart to be shared. With every word I have a choice to speak only truth and light. Integrity has such a powerful voice when I'm honest and forthright. Words are a gift I handle with care, allowing the content of my heart to be shared. My friend, your name is safe in my mouth. Your life is your own, and I bless it. For myself, my vision is safe in my hands. With conscious words, I profess it. Words are a gift I handle with care, allowing the content of my heart to be shared. My life is built on the words I speak. I create, I renew, I reveal. Whatever I tend to feel and think, I speak a pathway to real.
It's time for some special music, and always such a pleasure to have Mary and Jimmy share their marvelous music with us. Let's give a big, warm welcome back to Mary and Jimmy.
Thank you so much. It is always such a pleasure for us to be here. It's always a great way to start a Sunday morning, to spend it with all of you, and to get to play with this band. I hope you all know how lucky you are to have this wonderful band you get to listen to every week, right? Yes. Well, the tune we want to play for you right now is most commonly known as Doc Harris's Waltz, but is also called Beautiful Days Waltz. And I can't think of a more perfect title for a song today than Beautiful Days Waltz. We're having one of those such days today. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so awesome. You're awesome. Are we not lucky to have them with us? Mary Otterstrom and Jimmy Ingold. All right, it is such a pleasure to get to introduce our speaker today. Lanna Cairns has spent most of her adult life studying, teaching, and practicing spirituality as it is taught in New Thought communities and Buddhist communities. She's an author of 3 books. She was a CSL practitioner for 12 years. She's currently an educator and a producer of media that celebrates inspiration. She's a wife, a mother, a sought-after speaker, and we are so lucky and blessed to have her back with us this morning. Please give a warm welcome to our dear friend, Lanna Cairns.
Well, it's always so nice to come back and to be part of this community. You know, my heart's always here, so it's just lovely. The music is so good. Selena's so good. I feel the bar has been raised, and I'm concerned. So I'm not going to get angry, but it's an interesting topic. When Linda asked me what topic would I like to speak on, love, harmony, peace, and I said, you know, I feel pretty good with a lot of those. I feel like I'm in that energy most of my day, except when it comes to anger. That's my master teacher. So I wrote this sermon for me today. So I hope you're going to stick around and see what wisdom I have to share. So I think with our philosophy, it's really, it's almost like this in a nutshell. It really takes what it means to live in your truth, whatever that may be. And anything that takes you out of your truth is something that needs to be examined. Eckhart Tolle once said, where there is anger, there is always pain underneath. So as religious scientists, these are clues for us to understand what is that disconnection from God, from Source. So a couple of weeks ago, I was lucky enough to be invited to attend an interfaith celebration regarding the tabernacle. And it was in Bountiful, and there were different denominations there, from a rabbi, an imam, a fundamentalist speaker, an LDS, somebody who was head, I think, classical studies at BYU. Very bright, really an amazing conversation. And they were talking about how their religious organizations and belief systems define the tabernacle. And while I was sitting there as an audience member, I said to myself and to a friend of ours who is from our center that the tabernacle for us is ourselves. It's about cleaning up the house here. Because when God gives birth to us in this soul, in this spiritual energy, this body is the case in which God is received in us. And so I really thought, rather than looking at the past, I'm so grateful that our philosophy looks at the future and takes a metaphysical look at the house of God is within. And that's what we do as religious scientists. We clean up that house with the thoughts we have about what we think we deserve, who we are. That's the work we do in this philosophy. So James 1:20 says, the wrath of man or woman does not produce the righteousness of God. So anger is something that escalates into something so difficult, so challenging, that it really extinguishes the power, the presence of God. Florence Coates, an American poet, once said, I love the world, and the world is mine. So we're always moving away from that sense of anger, that sense of aggression, sense of difficulty. You know, anger has many deep roots. Anger is usually linked to problems like fear, frustration, stress, anxiety. I know as a Ukrainian woman, my maiden name was Nakanashny. It's a very difficult time for me, very difficult. So I know I have to limit myself from media. I have to be more in me and in my truth when the turbulent waters are all around me all the time. So for many of us, anger, when we feel that rage, we can do something immediate. We can be still with it. We can breathe through it. I suffer a bit of claustrophobia, so when I go to big events or a soccer game or something, it really takes a lot out of me. There's so much going on in my head, it's hard to process. And I had a friend who is a very good therapist here, and she said, Lanna, count back from 10 to 1. And we're going to do this at the end of my sermon when we walk through a meditation together. So I start at 10, I breathe, I go into 9, I go into 8 and 7, and it slows me down. It lets me get control of that bodily anger, that rage, whatever that is that turns into something. I'm able to at least have a separation from it. So that is a very good thing to consider, is during an episode of anger, breathing, that has to become slower and sensible and reflective onto what is happening. So slow down, and whenever we slow down, we operate from a calmer place. Also, I was thinking about how else do we deal with anger? And I love Cesar Millan, who had the dog show many years ago, and he would always have a very dysfunctional dog on the show that, you know, when the owner would leave, it would claw the hallway or the door, rip the shoes apart. And the first thing he does with every dog was that he would put it on a treadmill. It didn't matter if it was a Vizsla, a Pit Bull, a German Shepherd, he'd put it on a treadmill for it to get its aggression out. So what we need to do is we need to get that anger out of our body, because our body is the temple, our body is the tabernacle, and when it festers, it gets worse. And how do we get it out of our bodies? We exercise, we move our body. We go around the block. We walk our dog. We sit out in nature. We go for a brief walk, just to connect and to slow down and to get that sense of rage and unhappiness out of our body. So either way, one of the benefits of exercise for anger management is it helps the body cycle through a stress response. So handling anger is a very important skill. And therapists say that over half of the reasons why people come and see them is how they deal with anger, how they deal with anxiety, stress. And anger, with not dealt with, is something that can really endanger us, endanger society. It's a master teacher for many of us. So with religion, with a Christian take on anger, in Genesis it says anger leads to sin. So instead of holding on to anger, what Christians do is they pray for the other person, that the other person becomes peaceful, more loving, more connected to whatever that is. And we change our feelings by changing the deeds. Paul said that Christians are to put away their anger. But as religious scientists, the anger is within. We live in a world where it's not duality. There's not us or them. It's us. It's me. It's in that. So for Buddhists, they believe that you make yourself angry. Buddhism teaches us that anger, like all mental states, is created in the mind. But when you are dealing with your own anger, you have to be more specific. Anger challenges us to look deeply within ourselves. And most of the time, anger is self-defensive. It arises from unsolved fears of sadness. When I was single in my days living in California, I would go to these retreats with Ruth Dennison, a wonderful Buddhist teacher, and be in LA at the Zen Center there, and we would have 3 to 10-day silent meditation retreats. And it would really be the third day, honest to goodness, that my mind would finally calm down for me to examine what was happening. And when we would do meditations on anger, it brought me into such sadness, where I would cry, and many of us would cry. So this, when your neck is sore, but it's from your lower back, we have to examine the lower back and not go to the neck. So what is that disconnect for us? And that self-evaluation is what we do here at the Religious Science Center for Spiritual Living. We examine these thoughts about what keeps us separate from our good. Sharon Salzberg, a very wonderful Buddhist teacher who started the Institute, the Insight Meditation with Jack Kornfield, says, when you practice mindfulness of anger, when you feel it in your body, feel the complexity of it, the changing nature of it. You are working toward engaging it with that anger and all the emotions and thoughts that arise, with presence and compassion for yourself. Richard Rohr once said, in many people, the inability or refusal to feel their deep sadness takes the forms of aimless anger. The only way to get to the bottom of anger is to face the ocean of sadness underneath it. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, for every minute of anger, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. Charles Fillmore, the founder of Unity, said, when a body of water is so choppy and fitful currents of air, it cannot reflect the objects clearly. Neither can we reflect the steady, strong glow of the omnipotence when our mind is disturbed by anxious thoughts, fearful thoughts, or angry thoughts. So we know as religious scientists that we flip it. When something isn't of that divine nature, we have to explore what that is. So at the center of the anger we see is always peace and calm and love. Is always peace and calm and love. And anger can be like a hurricane. In the eye of the storm, though, there is always peace. So therefore, we can find calm waters in the midst of the turbulence. The mind is somewhat of a boat. It's our refuge. We examine it, we open it, we explore it, and we see what's there. Anais Nin said, the more you give of yourself to love, the more life nourishes you. So that's where we're going in this conversation. So we're going to close our eyes now, and we're going to do a little extra meditation of bringing something to our minds that makes us angry. It could be a person, it could be a situation at work, it could be the state of the world. There are many reasons I'm sure you can find. And I want us to take whatever that is, and I want to put it in our hands. So cup your hands, if you will. Visualize what that is. I personally have a difficult family member, and my mom's getting older, and it brings up so much for everyone. So I'm going to put this family member in my cup. And I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm going to close this cup, and I'm going to bring it to my heart. So at the center of anger is peace and calm. I know that one life that is God, the magnificence, the abundance, the possibility, the infinite possibility of everything is moving through me, as me, is me. That vibration of wholeness, of healingness, of radiance, of brilliance is pouring through me now. I feel it in my body, my back, my arms, my hands, on my chest, that concern, that worry. And I beam a vibrant, radiant light to it. I let that vibration move through it, dissolve it, wash it away, moving it into some other form that serves God. So knowing that one life, that powerful, energetic force that has created us, that creates everything we see, the magnitude of flowers, of poppies, of peonies everywhere we go. There's just this magnificence of divine intelligence. And with it, it brings a healing that we operate our thinking, our thoughts, our vibration in that, through that. To be the ambassador to God here on planet Earth. So I let that vibration heal my heart, heal my concern, move it in a way that uplifts my life and thus uplifts God's life. So I breathe in this divine soul, this energy into my heart chakra, that green, powerful color that I see in nature in its magnificence, knowing that vibration washes me and washes this heavy heart concern. So I am grateful for the power of Spirit being in our lives. I am grateful for the healing energy that God provides all the time. I am grateful for how good God shows up in releasing toxic energy, a vibration that doesn't serve me on this planet. So I take my hands and I brush it away my chest. I open my arms for that energetic flow to flow through me in a powerful way as I serve here, right here and right now. And so together with one heartbeat, one love, one energetic force, we simply say, And so it is. Amen. Amen.
Let's give Lanna a big round of applause. Thank you so much, Lanna, for that amazing meditation and talk.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I give. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We are so incredibly blessed to have this amazing spiritual community, to have amazing speakers like Lanna and this awesome music team, and all the great guest musicians that we get to hear each week. And this is the time in our service where we engage in one of our most important spiritual practices, where we recognize that the God that moves through us moves through us and out into the world, and that if it stops here, it doesn't go out to the world. And that is true in all aspects in our life, including our prosperity and our financial giving. So this is that time where we recognize the blessings that have come to us, the ways that we prosper in our lives, and that we also recognize the blessing that this center is, and we give back to it so that the flow keeps going through us, and so that this center exists, so that others may find the blessing that we have found here. So I invite you, if you will, to bring your gift into your hand, into your heart, into your mind, and repeat after me. No, say it with me, sorry. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Filled with gratitude, I let this be, and so it is.
All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me. The light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me.
Oh, let's hear some more from the marvelous Mary Otterstrom and Jimmy Ingold.
Oh, thank you. Well, that was a beautiful talk that we just heard about anger and ways that we can manage that anger. I know there are days where I do an awful lot of breathing, and it really does help. And another thing I know that helps me is music. Sometimes it's an opportunity to find a way through my body to get that anger out. And one of the things that I love about a lot of old American folk songs is that they'll have some lyrics that are pretty grumpy, but they'll place them to something that's really cheerful. And I've thought about that. Why is this? And I think it's therapeutic, honestly. It's kind of like, okay, I'm feeling this, but I'm also going to do something to kind of acknowledge that maybe this is not all such a big deal. And so this tune that we're going to play for you is called I Don't Love Nobody. But you'll see that it's actually a very cheerful little tune. And so, I think there are those days where you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I kind of woke up that way this morning. So it's a good thing I came here. But and you kind of feel like, I don't love nobody. But then you start to play some music and you realize, actually maybe I do. But, So here we go. This is I Don't Love Nobody. Thank you.
I don't love nobody.
Aerosmith have a song like
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mary and Jimmy. Awesome. Great to have you share as always. And Lanna, what a beautiful message. Thank you. Did you notice how she kept it kind of short and sweet? That's because we have a meeting after the service. No, I don't know why. But just as a reminder, there is our annual meeting after the service. Everybody's invited. You're welcome to go out in the lobby, grab a bite to eat, and bring it back in. And stop by the table if you're a member and sign in. Pick up a ballot because we're going to vote on a couple things. We're going to keep this very short and sweet. I've been really impressed how efficient they can be. But obviously, they'll still leave some time for questions. If any of you have a question about what's going on here, we welcome those, of course. Let's stand together and sing our closing song, because together we can change the world.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe it's not too late. Together we can change the world. Lay the puzzle pieces out. Find out what it's all about. Together we can change the world. I just got this by myself, but I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Sailing past where it's been charted. Roll your sleeves up, let's get started. Together we can change the world. Together we can change the world. Change our hands and with our hearts we can dare to make a start. Together we can change the world. What if we spoke with one voice, knowing that we have a choice? Together we can change the world. I just said this by myself, but I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Sailing past where it's been charted. Roll your sleeves up, let's get started. Together we can change the world. Together we can change the world. Change your mind and change your life. Set aside the fear and strife. Together we can change the world. When we open up our eyes, then we start to realize. Together we can change the world. I just got this by myself, but I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Sailing past where it's been charted. Roll your sleeves up, let's get started. Together we can change the